Canelo Alvarez body shots. Like, maybe there's a video we could look. He's got a beautiful one where he steps in and just rips that left hook to the liver, and just your body just goes deep. It shuts down. It's the weirdest feeling, man. It's like your legs stop working, everything stops working. Your whole body just seizes up.
I always believed Crawford had a chance, but the press conference showed me a different side of Canelo. He looked more focused and intense than ever before. It's clear he's taking this fight more seriously than any other in his career. Joe Rogan even called Crawford the underdog, suggesting the odds are heavily stacked against him. While Crawford has often been the underdog, this time it feels more real, almost overwhelming, unless a miracle happens. Things look grim for the Nebraskan. Rogan even hinted that the fight shouldn't happen, though he admitted that's unlikely. Honestly, if it were up to me, I'd cancel it too. Canelo's presence has completely drained any hope I had left.
That fight would be gigantic.
I'm trying to make all-time history.
Right. That's the one that gets you going. I can see it in your eyes.
Yeah. I hear him now. You're too little. Canelo gonna break you. I love the challenge. Let me prove him wrong once again.
Both men have achieved remarkable success across 4 weight divisions. Crawford enters the fight with flawless 41-0 record, having dominated every challenge placed before him. While he's faced a share of criticism, his determination to keep testing himself sets him apart. On the other hand, Alvarez remains one of the sport's elite and continues to hold the title of boxing's biggest.
For sure, them belts coming with me. They coming home with me. I'm telling you right now.
You can see it, but it's gonna be difficult. You take it to your
I'm taking them, and ain't nothing you gonna be able to do about it. Come fight night.
I know Turkey's in your corner,
I promise you.
But look, it's gonna be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day. Believe me.
In this super fight between 2 champions from different divisions, size matters. One fighter will inevitably face a disadvantage, and in this case, it's Crawford. Even when the fight was first confirmed, Joe Rogan expressed concern about Crawford moving up 2 weight classes.
I see you. I see you. You see I'm different.
I see you too.
You see I'm different than all the other ones.
No, I see you. No, you don't know different. You're nothing different.
I'm different.
Nothing different.
I'm different.
We'll see.
You gonna see.
We'll see. We'll see.
After rising through the lightweight ranks, Crawford will now jump from junior middleweight, 154 pounds, to super middleweight, 168 pounds, for this legacy-defining fight. His technical brilliance is unquestioned, but size will be a major talking point, especially since Canelo has even fought at light heavyweight. On a recent Joe Rogan Experience episode with comedian Brian Simpson, Rogan expressed concern about Crawford's ability to handle Canelo's physicality, saying, "I just hope he's big enough to keep that dude off him, because Canelo hits so hard, man."
When you look at the elite of the elite boxers, to a man, to every one of them, they're disciplined and they stay focused. I'm so excited to see this fight with Canelo Alvarez because I think the Saudi Arabians have so much money. They're throwing so much money at boxing, and the guy who's the head of boxing over there wants to make that fight happen. I think Terence Crawford, forget about the 3 weight classes. I think he could beat Canelo.
I think moving up 2 weight classes doesn't seem to bother Terence Crawford, who has been chasing this super fight with Canelo for a while. Skipping a tune-up bout, Crawford will enter the ring after over a year out, likely for the toughest fight of his career. Still, the long break gives him time to adjust to the size difference.
You and Canelo, what would it look like?
Come on, man. Y'all know what I do. I ain't got to talk about it on the streets. I'm me against anybody. I ain't never gonna say another man gonna whoop me. So, you know what I mean? That's your answer right there.
I guess in Guadalajara you think it'd be a little different on the streets if Terence came to town?
I think every city, every place is different, no? It's different. But we don't talking about the streets. We're talking about boxing, the beautiful sport of boxing. So that's different, way different than the streets.
Fans of Joe Rogan's show were surprised to see him shift sides after initially backing Crawford. Many believe Canelo, fighting at super middleweight, will maintain a clear size advantage, especially since Crawford has spent most of his career at 147 pounds, with his last fight at 154. Still, Rogan downplayed the size factor, saying he didn't think it would be a major issue.
That's one dude that, like, I believe all the he be talking.
Crawford?
Yeah.
Oh, he's good.
He don't just be saying that.
They tried to say that like Errol Spence was damaged because of what Crawford did to him because he was damaged from the car accident. I'm like, maybe. Or maybe Crawford would have done that 3 years ago. I think he's that good. He's just so skillful.
Joe Rogan believes Crawford isn't as small as people think. On episode 2286 of his podcast with guest Antonio Brown, Rogan pointed out that the 37-year-old has enough time to put on solid weight before the fight. Expressing his excitement, he said, "You know why I'm excited? Terence Crawford and Canelo, that's the one." Still, he acknowledged fans' biggest concern, the size gap between the two fighters.
So slick. And when he gets, and he's also the best guy in the sport at switch hitting. He'll go from southpaw to orthodox and be just as good and trip you up. Like you think he's going to start southpaw, he starts orthodox. You prepare for orthodox, he's fighting southpaw. He feels like he's got you timed better orthodox, he'll switch it up. You know,
super accurate.
Rogan addressed concerns about Crawford's size, noting that while many think he's too small, he recently weighed in at 185 pounds. Despite winning the 154 pounds title after fighting most of his career at 147, Crawford still has time to bulk up. Still, many fans believe that, regardless of his skill, he might end up as just another name on Canelo's list of beaten opponents, especially since he's jumping up without a rehydration clause. That said, Crawford is one of the most skilled fighters in the world, boasting a 41-0 record with 31 KOs. His last win came via unanimous decision over Israel Madrimov.
oh, like just knows so much about boxing, about where to be and what's coming. And
He's a strategist that's also entertaining.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
he's an artist.
Like remember like a young B-Hop?
Yes.
It was like just so sharp and made it look almost entertaining. You know what I mean?
Roy Jones in his prime. It was art. You were watching art. He's piecing up people. It was
The Riyadh season kicked off with a bang as the first press conference for the highly anticipated Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight took place at the Baker Al Shidi Theater in BLVD City, Saudi Arabia. Set for September 13th in Las Vegas, the bout will see Canelo defend his undisputed super middleweight title against the undefeated Crawford, who is moving up 2 weight classes. The prestigious ring title, worth $188,000, will also be on the line, and the fight will stream live on Netflix. Tension was high as both fighters faced off in a grand Middle Eastern style event. Saudi official Turki Al-Sheikh, who helped make the fight happen, called it one of the best matchups of the past decade. The night before, both fighters shared dinner with the Saudi minister, who played a key role in arranging the showdown.
Going up and becoming undisputed against Canelo. Come on, man. I'm flying in the sunset, man. Thank you, boxing God.
that would be it.
That would be it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing get for me. I didn't accomplish everything there is to accomplish in the sport of boxing. You know?
Canelo comes into this fight with something to prove after his underwhelming win over William Skull, a bout that broke records for the fewest punches thrown. That wasn't a fight, it was a disappointment, Canelo said. "I came to fight, but you need both guys to want it. This time, I'm fired up. Making history is my goal." He acknowledged Crawford's talent, but added, "He's a great fighter, but he's not Canelo. People talk about my power, but I have much more than that." Despite Crawford being a former undisputed welterweight champion and IBF super welterweight title holder, he's not the favorite, largely due to the major jump in weight.
I'm saying at once.
Right.
I'm saying I started at 135. I'm just saying, like, say if Canelo was the champion at 147 to go up 160.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. In one jump.
Yeah, in one jump.
It's a big jump too. 21 pounds. It's a lot of weight.
"I'm going to win. It's that simple," declared Crawford, dismissing any doubts about his approach. Known for his elusive, backward-moving style, he could pose real problems for Alvarez. Still, Canelo remains unfazed. Both fighters believe this will be a historic showdown. "I asked for Canelo because he's faced legends like Mayweather and GGG. This is my mega fight, my moment," said Crawford. Canelo, standing firm behind his belts, responded, "He's not going to beat me. I'm confident, and I hope he doesn't run. Fans deserve a real fight. This will go down in boxing history."
However I gotta fight, I'ma win. Simple as that. I'm not gonna let somebody else force me or tell me how to fight when I've been fighting my whole life. You know, I won't be running. You know, I can tell you that. But I will be, you know, doing a lot of touching.
You me wrong. He's a great fighter, like I say, he's no Canelo.
Ahead of their September 13th clash, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford sat down with Piers Morgan for an in-depth interview covering their backgrounds, mindsets, and physical preparation. While both fighters were reluctant to discuss deeply personal topics, like Canelo's experience during his brother's kidnapping or Crawford being shot, they shared their views on the fight. When asked if Canelo holds any advantages, Crawford responded, "Canelo is a great fighter, no doubt. But I can't say another man is better than me in anything until he proves it. I don't know if his jab or right hand is better, because I haven't faced him yet. What I do great."
Listen, however they rate me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we gotta fight, and I'm gonna win the fight. It's simple as that.
Can I ask you about if there's any rematch clause with this fight with Canelo?
No, it's not.
Is that something you push for?
No, I didn't.
And there's any weight restrictions to the fight at all?
No, it's not.
Crawford expressed excitement about the fight, saying he enjoys the energy when both fighters know it's going to be something special. He acknowledged Canelo's skills, admitting he might be better in some areas, but added that fighters often underestimate him until they step in the ring. They realize it's different with me. I've got talent they don't see coming. With two confident, battle-tested fighters, Crawford said there's no need for fake hype. We both know what we're capable of, and we'll give the fans a real show. When asked about his reach advantage, Crawford explained it depends on the situation. Yes, it helps on the outside, but Canelo's great at mid-range and slipping inside shots. It's not just about reach, it's how you use it. I'm prepared for every range.
Fighters would like to put on a weight restriction to this type of fight. Why didn't you want to do that?
Because I want him at his best. I don't want no excuses. I don't want no, reasons why, he didn't feel good or anything. I want him at his best.
When asked about his current weight, Crawford estimated around 155 pounds. He wasn't concerned about needing to reach 168 for the fight, saying not at all, and explained that fighters carry more weight naturally anyway. He sees it as fighting at one of his natural weights. As for accusations of being a drug cheat, Canelo responded bluntly, "People believe what they want. Even if I show proof, they'll still doubt it. And honestly, I don't care."
There's a lot of experts that think Canelo's not the same fighter. His punch output's a lot less. What do you think, considering the last 12 months or so? Is he the same fighter he was maybe a few years ago?
I think he is. I just think, he just wasn't up for the skull fight. I think, different fighters bring different, energies out of other fighters.
A lot of people are judging you on the Madrimov fight, saying you struggled moving up in weight, you're going further up in weight, and they're saying that's going to go against you based on the Madrimov fight. How do you kind of reply to that?
While history suggests smaller fighters often struggle against naturally bigger opponents, Paulie Malignaggi disagrees. The former pro boxer and Pro Box TV analyst is just as excited as most fans about the Canelo versus Crawford showdown. He sees Canelo as a master in the ring, but believes Crawford will still be a tough challenge despite the size difference. In a recent interview with Fight Hype, Malignaggi admitted, "At first I thought Crawford might be too small, but went on to highlight key areas where Crawford holds clear advantages."
Canelo Crawford, I know what you feel about Canelo, but what do you feel about that particular fight, which it sounds like it probably took 100 to 150 million, maybe each, in order for Turkey to get that.
It doesn't really, listen, it's going to be a fight that people want to watch again, because again, it's something that people would generate and talk about. Canelo's very popular. At this point, if he fights my sneaker, it's going to generate 1 million pay-per-views, right? So
Malignaggi went on to say that ultimately, the fight will come down to skill, and that's where he feels Crawford has the edge. Crawford is a more complete fighter than Canelo, he noted, though he admitted Crawford's smaller size is the main concern. Drawing comparison, he recalled how Roberto Duran, once a lightweight, defeated the much bigger Ron Barkley in a close 1989 bout, despite Barkley having already beaten Tommy Hearns.
I was originally thinking Crawford might be too small. I think Crawford is a way more complete fighter than Canelo ever was. And Crawford is just, the only risk here is Crawford's small. You think about it though, Duran was a former lightweight and he was able to beat Iran Barkley eventually, right? So it's not out of the question. And this Canelo is not the prime Canelo. This Canelo is also a Canelo who's trying to steal bags while half-assing it. When Canelo has been put in tough situations, in the moments where he's had to really dig down, what has he done?
That said, more and more fans are starting to believe Terence Crawford might just have what it takes to dethrone Canelo Alvarez. Bold predictions are nothing new when it comes to Canelo's opponents, but Crawford is a different kind of challenge. Do you think he can pull off the upset? That's it for now. Stay tuned for the latest boxing news, moments, and updates by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss our content.